Hello everybody and welcome back. Lesson number 14 is titled More Sentences. The very first lesson in your grammar book is titled Sentences. In this lesson, we learned about what are sentences and what are the different types of sentences. In this particular video, we are going to continue learning about different kinds of sentences. Apart from what you have studied in lesson 1, there are some more types of sentences to be kept in mind. Let us learn about them in more detail. Before we begin with the main text from the textbook, here is a small exercise for you to practice. Underline the main clauses, circle the subordinate clauses, and cross out the conjunctions in these sentences. The first one, I love playing outdoor games. The main clause here is itself the complete sentence. I love playing outdoor games. Hence, there are no subordinate clauses and no conjunctions because it is a simple and independent clause. You can come today or you can come tomorrow. The main clause is you can come today. You can come tomorrow is also another main clause and both are independent. The conjunction here is or. See the third one. The film which you were talking about has won many awards. The main clause is the film has won many awards. So subordinate clause is which you were talking about and the conjunction is which. Tara didn't attend the session because she had to go somewhere else. Tara didn't attend the session is the main clause. Conjunction is because and subordinate clause is because she had to go somewhere else. We are connecting our lesson more sentences with the previous one, phrases and clauses, with the help of this exercise. See the last one. The truck broke down near the school at the crossroads. So the main clause here is the sentence itself. The truck broke down near the school at the crossroads. It is a simple sentence. It is an independent clause. Depending on the number and type of clauses, there are two different types of sentences, simple sentences and compound sentences. You have already studied about phrases and clauses in your lower classes. For more clarity on this topic, phrases and clauses, you may refer to the video on my YouTube channel. Now coming to simple sentences. I am going to my friend's place. Look at this sentence. It has a single subject and a single predicate. It is not dependent on any other clause for a complete meaning. Hence, it is a simple sentence. But if you look at the next sentence, she read the email and she became happy. If I divide or split this sentence into two different clauses, like she read the email. Quite independent, meaning is quite clear. It has a subject, it has a predicate of its own. If I read the sentence, she became happy, this also is quite independent of the first part. It has its own subject and its own predicate. But they're joined together with the help of a conjunction. The word and here is a coordinating conjunction. You have already studied about coordinating conjunction in the previous lesson. Hence, a sentence that is joined by a coordinating conjunction and this coordinating conjunction joins two or more independent clauses together, it makes a compound sentence. So in this slide, we learn about simple sentences and compound sentences. If we draw a parallel between them, that is, if we compare them, we will see that simple sentence has a single subject and a single predicate. It is made up of one independent clause, while a compound sentence has more than one subject, more than one predicates, and it is joined together by a coordinating conjunction. Now here is a very simple exercise for you. Fill in these blanks with simple sentences to form compound sentences. The first one, I was not feeling well, so I cancelled the plans. My brother sings and he dances very well. I had finished lunch, yet I was hungry. I did not make it to the movie, so I joined my friends for dinner. Rita likes coffee, but Rahim likes tea. So here the conjunctions are already given. We will use another sentence to make them together into a compound sentence. I've already helped you with the 5. Let's move on. Now in this lesson, we are going to learn about a third kind of sentence called the complex sentence. As the name suggests, complex means a bit different, a complicated one. However, if you pay attention, it's not that complicated. We already know about subordinating clauses, we know about subordinating conjunctions and different kinds of relative pronouns. So look at this example. I shall call you when the teacher comes. Now, I shall call you. If I speak of this part of the sentence independently, it makes complete sense and it is not dependent on any other part of the sentence. I shall call you. But if you look at the second part of the sentence, when the teacher comes. So if I say this separately as an individual unit, when the teacher comes, the meaning here is incomplete. If I say, when the teacher comes, the question that comes to your mind is what? What happens when the teacher comes? So it is a subordinate clause, and subordinate clause always depend on the main clause to complete their meanings. Look at the second sentence. After I finish my homework, I shall go out for a walk. Sometimes the subordinated clause can also be at the beginning of the sentence. So after I finish my work, if this one is taken separately, you will ask, what? What after I finish my homework? The meaning here is incomplete. But if I take the second part of the sentence separately, I shall go out for a walk. It is quite complete in its meaning even without the first part of the sentence. Hence, this part, I shall go out for a walk, is the main clause, and after I finish my homework, this part of the sentence is the subordinate clause. And these kinds of sentences are called complex sentences, meaning they have a main clause, they have a subordinate clause. Now, the subordinate clauses are always dependent on the main clauses. And these two clauses are generally joined by using subordinating conjunctions like because, since, after, although, and when. And sometimes relative pronouns such as that, who, and which can also be used to join these clauses together. So once again, what do we learn in this slide? There are 3 types of sentences depending on the type and number of clauses used in a sentence. That is simple sentence, compound sentence, and complex sentence. Simple sentences have just one clause which is independent. Compound sentences have more than 2 or 2 clauses and they are joined by coordinating conjunctions. These clauses are once again independent. But coming to complex sentences, they are joined by subordinating conjunctions and the clauses in these sentences are main clauses and subordinate clauses. Now coming to exercise, let's crack it. First one, take the complex sentences and cross the compound sentences. I wore the dress that my father has given me. This is a complex sentence, so we will use a tick mark. My name is Sheena and I am a girl. If you look at this sentence, they are joined together by a coordinating conjunction and. and both the parts of the sentence, my name is Sheena, I am a girl, are quite independent. Hence, this is a compound sentence. So we will cross it out. Do the rest on your own. Coming to exercise B, write the coordinating and subordinating conjunctions used in the above sentences. So once you have done the tick mark and the crossing out, pick out the coordinating and subordinating conjunctions. So the coordinating conjunctions are and but, and the subordinating conjunctions you are going to find out. Come to exercise C. Identify whether these sentences are simple, compound, or complex. I plan to shop this weekend. This is a simple sentence. The car swerved because the driver lost control. This is a complex sentence. I was feeling cold, so I had a cup of hot coffee. This is a compound sentence. Why? In the first sentence, which is simple, you will see it is an independent clause, not dependent on anything else, one subject, one predicate, no conjunction or comma whatsoever. In the second sentence, which is a complex sentence, you will see the conjunction because it's a subordinating conjunction. There's a main clause, there's a subordinate clause. I was feeling cold. The third sentence, you will see it's a compound sentence because so is a coordinating conjunction and both the parts of the sentence, I was feeling cold, I had a cup of hot coffee, are independent clauses. So these three I've discussed with you. The rest you're going to do on your own in the book itself. Exercise D. Combine these sentences according to the instructions given in the brackets in your notebook. So first one, a truck was brought, full stop. The fruits were loaded, full stop. Now we have to join these two sentences and make them into a compound sentence. We can simply remove the period, that is the full stop, and we can use a comma with a coordinating conjunction to make these two simple sentences into one compound sentence. I have already taught you the technique in the first video. Let us practice it again. A truck was brought, comma, and the fruits were loaded. See the second one. The actor was awarded. He performed very well in the film. Now you have to join to make a complex sentence. We will write, the actor was awarded because he performed very well in the film. Let me do one more for you. You must not repeat this ever. You will be suspended. Two different sentences, simple sentences to be joined as one compound sentence. We can write this as, you must not repeat this ever, for you will be suspended. Now the rest of these questions, you're going to do it on your own in your English copies. Coming to the next topic, transformation of sentences. Transformation means changing one kind of sentence into another kind. When we are changing a sentence, remember children, the meaning should always remain the same. The meaning should not be altered. So compound or complex sentences can be easily rewritten as simple sentences. By doing what? By omitting coordinating or subordinating conjunctions and making a few other changes. Now look at the sentence. The teacher liked the answer that I had given. So if I look at this part, the answer that I had given, can I use a possessive adjective to simply say my answer? The answer that I had given, can I simply transform into my answer? So if I change the sentence by omitting that part and replacing it with a possessive adjective, my sentence becomes, the teacher liked my answer. So here the meaning is intact, but we have changed this complex sentence into a simple sentence by simply omitting the subordinate clause and replacing it with a possessive adjective. Now read another sentence given here. She started late, but she reached the cinema hall on time. But is a coordinating conjunction. This is a compound sentence. Now we can change this into a simple sentence by removing the coordinating conjunction but and introducing a phrase that shows contrasting ideas. Contrasting means opposite ideas. In spite of starting late, she reached the cinema hall on time. So now it is once again a simple sentence. We have simply removed the coordinating conjunction but and altered the sentence a little bit, used a comma, and the meaning remains the same, but the sentence is now transformed from compound to simple. Now, in the same way, simple sentences can also be transformed into compound or complex sentences. All we have to do is we have to replace a word or a phrase with another clause. Look at the example given here in your textbooks. The naughty boy had stolen my ball. This is a simple sentence. The boy who is naughty had stolen my ball. Now this becomes a complex sentence because we have replaced the word naughty with the clause who is naughty. So this makes my simple sentence into a complex sentence. Exercise E. Transform these sentences as directed in brackets. Rewrite them in your notebook. So once again, we have some sentences here and you're going to transform it as given in the bracket. Transformation of sentences. What does it mean, children? The meaning of the sentences should remain intact. The meaning must not change. So the first one, you must work hard to win the competition. You have to change it into a compound sentence. You must work hard for you to win the competition. See the next one. Though she is old, she is very active. Now these are two sentences separated by a comma. We have to make them into a simple sentence. In spite of being old, comma, she is very active. The crying child was hurt. Change it into a complex sentence. The child was crying because it was hurt. Do the rest of these exercises on your own in your English copies. Coming to our exercise, let's perfect it. Exercise A, identify these sentences as simple, compound or complex, and after that you have to underline the finite verbs. See the first one. Tell me about the most prominent person of this locality. This is a simple sentence. We have one subject, one predicate, and the entire sentence is an independent clause. So what is the finite verb in this? Tell. See the second one. I cleared the table and I served the sweets. Now this is a compound sentence separated. The two clauses are separated by a comma. And we have a coordinating conjunction between them. I cleared the table. In this part of the clause, in this independent clause, cleared is the finite verb. And in the second part, I served the sweets. Served is the finite verb. See the third one as well. Reno plays with his dog in the garden. This is a simple sentence. Independent clause, one subject, one predicate. And what is the finite verb? Plays. Similarly, you're going to complete the rest of the exercises on your own in your English copies. Now join these simple sentences to form compound sentences. Write them in your notebook. One has been done for you. First one, come inside, finish your homework. Come inside and finish your homework. So two simple sentences joined with the help of a coordinating conjunction to make one compound sentence. See the next one. I was very hungry, full stop. I ate all the mangoes kept in the basket. So we will join them into one sentence like, I was very hungry, so I ate all the mangoes kept in the basket. The men rested, the men had finished their work. This can be written as, the men rested for they had finished their work. You're going to complete the rest of these questions on your own in your English copies. For any help, any doubts, we have our online discussions. Exercise C. Join these simple sentences to form complex sentences and once again write them in your notebooks. He finished reading the book in a day. He found the book very interesting. Now these are two simple sentences separated by a period. We are going to change them into a complex sentence. He finished reading the book in a day because he found the book very interesting. So we drop the period, we introduce a subordinating conjunction and join them together into a complex sentence. See the second one as well. The sun was shining. It wasn't very warm. Although the sun was shining, comma, it wasn't very warm. I had to brief him about the work. He had left the office. He had left office before I could brief him about the work. Similarly, you're going to complete the rest of the questions on your own. Come to exercise D. Transform these sentences as directed. Write them in your notebook. So it's a mixed bag. Some you have to transform into complex, some you have to transform into compound. I have nothing to offer you at this moment. Transform this into a complex sentence. I have nothing that I can offer you at this moment. This makes our first sentence into a complex sentence. I have no doubt that he can accomplish this task easily. Change this into a compound sentence. He can accomplish this task easily, and I have no doubt about it. The moment he received the telegram, comma, he left for his village to see his parents. Now change this into a compound sentence. He received the telegram and he left for his village to see his parents. If you plan everything properly, you will have no reason to repent. Change it into a compound sentence. Plan everything properly, so you will have no reason to repent. These were the guiding answers. Now use them to complete the rest of the sentences. Now here is a comprehension passage for your practice. Read it carefully. Once you are done reading the comprehension passage, here are some questions based on the passage. Complete these in the book itself. The fourth one is make sentences of your own with these words. So if you do not know the meaning, pull up a dictionary, find out the meaning and make sentences of your own. Students, here is a very interesting vocabulary building exercise for you. In any language, a figure of speech signifies a special form of expression which is different from the ordinary form of expression. The purpose of using figures of speech in writing or speaking is to produce greater effect than the ordinary forms would. The defining features of some important figures of speech and their examples are given in the table below. This is something that is very important for you children. When we discuss a poetry or a prose, we always talk about the defining features of it, the poetic devices, the figures of speech used. So simile, metaphor, personification, apostrophe, hyperbole, epigram, irony, pun, rhetorical question. These are given to you here. The definition is given and the examples are given. This is going to help you do your art integrated learning projects. What is simile? When two different objects are compared with at least one common feature. This you know very well because you have been finding examples of simile in all your poems. Example, he is as brave and courageous as a lion. See metaphor, using a word or phrase to describe somebody or something as something else in a way that the two things have the same qualities. He is a lion on the battlefield. So what is the small difference between similes and metaphor? In similes, different objects, they're compared with at least one common quality. But in a metaphor, the different objects appear as one single object. Now coming to personification, when inanimate objects, abstract ideas, emotions and incidents are represented as human beings. For example, death lays his icy hand on kings. Now death is an idea. How can it have hands like a human being? But when it is presented in this manner, it is the use of personification. Apostrophe, an exclamatory figure of speech where the speaker addresses someone who is dead or absent, or some personified object as if they were present and alive. O death, where is thy sting? Now, death is personified here, but it is not present in the scene. We are talking to it as if it were a person and it is in the same platform. See the next one, hyperbole. It's a form of exaggeration when something is overstated to make an emphasis. To make the statement more emphatic, we have used hyperbole. All the perfumes of Arabia will not sweeten this little hand. It's a way of saying that even if you use all perfumes available in Arabia, the smell of the hands or will not change. Epigram, an idea expressed briefly with clever use of words. The child is the father of the man. Complicated use of words to give a small idea. Irony, the intended meaning is completely opposite of the meaning that is literally conveyed. Brutus remained Caesar's closest friend with a knife in his hand hidden from all eyes. So if a friend is holding a knife, is he really a friend? That is the irony over here in the statement. Pun, the clever use of a word such that it seems to have more than one meaning. A photographer was great at botany because he knew photosynthesis. So we are using words to mean something else in a clever way. A rhetorical question, a question asked not to get an answer but to produce an effect or make a statement. Am I a fool who can't understand even the simplest of things? This is a question that is not asking or seeking an answer. It is merely with the help of this question, the person is simply saying that he is actually not a fool. Next one is climax. It is a series of ideas arranged in the order of increasing importance. I think we have reached a point of great decision, not just for our nation, not only for humanity, but for life upon earth. Now, this is written by George Walt. It's a speech that he had given in 1969. Now, what is climax? In simple terms, when a lot of series of actions happen in increasing order of importance. The highest point is the most important one. Now, anti-climax, as the name suggests, it must be the opposite of climax. Ideas arranged in the order of decreasing importance. The idea which is the most or the least important one is in the leading way. She is a famous writer, a mother, and a good humorist. So the idea is diminishing. Famous writer is the idea of more importance that is used first. Now, based on your understanding of these figures of speech, their definition and examples, some sentences are given here. You have to identify which figure of speech has been used in each of these sentences. Now, this is something that you are going to do on your own in your grammar books itself. Children, here are the assignments that you are supposed to do from this lesson. Complete all the textual exercises in the grammar books. Do exercise A given on page 116 in your English copies. Do exercises A, B, C and D from Let's Perfect It in your English copies again. Also, the comprehension given on page 118 has to be completed in your grammar books itself. And the exercise Let's Build Words, exercise A on page 121 has to be completed in the grammar book. That brings us to the end of our lesson today. Thank you and take care.